Hi, everybody. I'm Connie Dornan with That Properties. And this week I'm speaking with Sara Provis. Sara Provis is a school counselor at Loyola Academy. And she's here today to help give us some advice on those of us that are working from home and have teenagers and what to do and how to entertain them. Hi, Sara. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Hi, Connie. It's nice to be here.
So, Sara, I was thinking the other day, when I was a teenager, and if this had happened when I was a teenager, this would have been completely disastrous for me. I don't know how I would cope. Now, back then, of course, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have social media, and it wasn't that long ago because I'm not that old. But we didn't have any of the. We had cell phones, but we didn't have text messaging. But
You might have even had a pager.
yeah, there were pagers. They were definitely pagers. And I remember my first car phone. It was this huge brick, that my parents took away from me after the first bill came in, and it was like $400 because I had no idea. I kept going on the phone, calling on my friends, But the thing is, I was thinking back, like, this is really rough. And, I've got two teenagers myself, as everybody knows. And, they're coping, and we're talking every day, we're keeping active as best as we can. But you, as a school counselor, can you give us some advice here for those of us who've got children at home? How are they coping right now, and what coping mechanisms do you recommend for them?
So I guess I'll start with just sharing what's worked best with my students. So I work with students in high school, grades 9 through 12. Currently, I have freshmen and juniors. Um, and the number one tip, I think, is to maintain some type of daily schedule. I think that's very important, especially on e-learning days. Wake up with a purpose the night before, write out your day for the next day. When are you waking up? When are you getting that shower? And when's your first class? When are you going to get out for a walk? When are you going to eat lunch? I mean, basic things, because what I found with my students struggling with time management and keeping organized is if they have a to-do list and check that off, it's so satisfying, and it really helps keep them on track, and it helps them feel like the day is complete at the end of the night.
I see. Okay, that's great. And then for those people that would have a difficult time keeping themselves organized to stay on task, you, as a school counselor there at Loyola Academy, I'm sure, and you're also a mom of two, what are some suggestions on how to keep these kids organized to stay on task and routine based?
Well, I think there needs to be participation from whoever is living in the house, parents, guardians, siblings. What I suggest is having somewhat of like a family calendar and agenda in a very local spot in the house. We have one in our kitchen.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so it basically says like what our plan is for the entire day, what time is e-learning, what time is lunch, what time are we going outside, and that way we can all keep each other held accountable.
That's a great idea. I've got to put that plan in action. I've got all sorts of other calendars going, but I don't have that calendar. And I think by doing so, you're held accountable, just like you said. Can you tell us some of the issues and responses to those issues that you've done, that you have had throughout the last 6 weeks?
What do you mean?
Or maybe even like a personal, tell us something personal, since you're a mom of two, and how you've maintained with your two daughters.
I think it's so important, especially with younger kids, to maintain and have flexibility and allow yourself as a parent to be flexible with your kids. Um, I sort of run naturally a tight ship in my house, but that's sort of been impossible to do the past few weeks, and I think it could be detrimental to the students and the kids' mental health if you're constantly breathing down their back and making sure they're doing everything perfect. So we allow for a lot of flexibility. Like this morning, we know it's nice out, we know it's going to rain later. So we told the girls, instead of doing like an hour of schoolwork, we're going to do 25 minutes so that we could go outside and enjoy the weather, and then we'll come back in and do work. So planning for the day, but also building in flexibility for it to kind of ebb and flow as things come up.
That's a great idea. One last question for you. I'm not sure how well you can answer, but I'm sure you can. I just don't know. So, for example, as you know, I've got a junior in high school. And, junior year is really important. That's when you're looking at colleges and you're planning for your future, you're planning for senior year, uh, and ACTs and SATs. What are your recommendations for juniors right now in preparing for their senior year? And for ACTs, what are you seeing out there? What are you hearing about the ACTs and SATs?
Well, I know that the national tests have been postponed. They don't really have any dates for anything in the future because everything is so uncertain at this time. However, there are really great resources out there. A lot of colleges are offering virtual college tours, and there's even some virtual college fairs.
Oh,
So I would definitely advise the student, whatever school they go to maintain contact with their college counseling department, because those counselors will be able to direct them to the resources that they need to continue their college search.
well, that's fantastic. Would you be able to share one of those links for those virtual college tours or college fairs?
I could probably find one, yeah.
Oh, that would be lovely. That would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, any
Yeah.
parting words to those frustrated parents locked up at home with these kids pulling their hair out?
I tell myself every day, this too shall pass. So just remind yourself of that, try to stay positive, and know that, we're all doing the best that we can.
Wonderful. Well, Sara, thank you so much for joining us this week. I really appreciate your insights, and happy sheltering in.
All right, thanks,
All
Connie.
right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye, Sara.